Welcome to your magic moon message, ladies and gentlemen. This is the peace dealer. All right, yeah. Oh, I didn't have to show the face. This is the peace dealer at Sunset Park. I just recorded 24 Venus videos. I just recorded Venus through the signs and Venus through the houses, baby. Just, some short videos. Nothing too long. I just want to, I've been promising you guys I was going to make this content. I finally got around to it. Yesterday, I did Jupiter through the signs and houses in another park. Tomorrow, I'm probably going to do Saturn. Sunday, I'll do the sun. And then I might get to the Uranus and Neptune on Monday and Tuesday. Or I'll do them next week if I take this weekend off. But other than that, I'm also going to be working on World War Zero Season 2. Look forward to that. Finally going to start working on that this Taurus season. And astrological profiles. I'm going to make a series out of it. If you guys like the Unveiling Godhood series, I'm going to bring that back too. So we'll have another series to do. But yeah, I'm going to kind of model it off of that, kind of move forward with this new video essay format. Magic moon messages ain't going nowhere, so we're gonna keep this. But yeah, y'all, moon is in Capricorn. The sun is at the final degree of Aries. Okay, Mercury's in Aries, Mars is in Leo, and let me remind y'all, do not be stupid and beef with Leo. All right, Leo is a lion. Lions maul and eat your faces off. Okay, people be forgetting. Leo is a lion until they maul your face off. Like, you wouldn't go into the wild and start antagonizing a lion. Some of you will. Some of you don't care about your lives. The god of war is in Leo. Leo is crashing out for the next week or so. Get out they way. I learned my lesson with Aries. I try to do my Gemini shit with a certain Aries. You don't get in the way of Aries when they crashing out. You don't get in the way of Leo when they crashing out. So Mars is gonna go through Leo. Get the F out their way. That's it. Okay? Trust me. Trust, unless you a Sagittarius that's ready to risk it all. It is what it is. Okay? This is the whistleblower. The Seven of Wands. It's retrograde back into Cancer, reevaluated what we feel we desire and what direction we want to go with it, as Pisces was changing everything we believe in Pisces. Sorry. As Mercury and Neptune and Venus were reevaluating everything with Saturn we believe in Pisces. That belief and shift in our beliefs changed where we feel we want to direct. So let's say at the end of the year when Mars was retrograding out of Leo, we were going to go in this direction. But then the retrograde happened in Pisces and our beliefs shifted the direction we go here. Now we're moving in that direction. And another reason why that's so important is because, of course, moving forward, now that it's going to gain a lot more courage and passionate strength through Leo, this is going to really harp on what you stand on, right? And what you're willing not to back down on. Okay? Of course, one of the most important aspects with this is the opposition of Pluto, which is going to set up the T-square we have coming into the new moon. That's going to be both square Pluto and Mars, which is a pressure cooker, which is getting ready to shift more the quality of what direction we've already moved in. Meaning, now that we're at the end of Aries season, you've already taken action, right? You, by this point, have taken 1, 2, or at least 3 actions that reflect who you are and what you want to begin accomplishing or doing. It is okay if this changes moving forward. We can make as much edits as we want. The most important thing is that you've moved in that original direction. And if you haven't, which you have, but if you haven't, the moon in Capricorn will be the cap of this to kind of just finish this out before we start 1 degree Taurus with 1 degree Aqua Moon, and we continue starting the transit off with the completion 270 degrees. It's going to be very weird and extraordinary, very supernatural. It's going to be a supernatural understanding of how naturally we can understand this metaphysical aspect through our 5 senses. So until then, this 29 degree Aries sun transit is quite literally giving you the maximum awareness and that final point of crystallization of where you are committed to heading, all right? Really taking that first step relative to really, embodying this authenticity reflected through your authentic actions and the rawness of who you are. Are you okay? Okay, so now that Mercury's gone over Neptune and Aries, now that your brain processing is getting ready to catch up to your conscious awareness and you have shifted everything you believed, the transcendence that is beginning to occur to remove this illusion of separation between you and the universe, between you and source, between you and God. Mercury is now reflecting that. And given its sextile to Pluto and its trine to Mars, there's going to be an increasing passion relative to how you express that and tell people that they can GOYD, to get off your D, okay? With a burning passion, all right? People are going to see it in your eyes. And I think another thing that's very significant about this is with Mercury on Neptune, you're going to begin to experience more clarity and originality around how you engage with these MFers talking smack psychically. But really, your brain's ability to, with Neptune as a God broadband connector, I took that term from Chris Witecki, shout out to him, to connect individually towards, in connection with Pluto and Aquarius, this telepathic mind grid, this more collective hive mind, right? And how now, when it was in Pisces, you were more experiencing it. Now how there's much more of a direct input, and how you're ready to throw hands with anybody who's really trying with you. Like, it's all warrior moded out. Another thing with that is a huge disillusionment with everything that does not identify with who you are. And that's why this Aries season and last year was so important. Now that we're coming into the next round of upgrades to evolve who you are, because you're more clear than ever now of who you are. Trust me, it's been revealed, crazy synchronicities. Your willingness to stand in that is going to be the point with which those who see you as less than you are, those who are threatened by who you stand in, because they make it a point to really get at you at that, which no one who is secure in themselves is threatened by another person sitting as they are. So people can act cool, but their own actions are showing that they're BITCH, okay? So those who have already kind of played their hand, that's letting you know how much more you need to stand in who you are. This is the courage of Leo to not back down. This is why many of you could be receiving really psychically or physically disrespect, body language, uncomfort, because you're not here to make people feel comfortable. You're here to challenge people's beliefs. And when people's beliefs are challenged, you see who they really are. And as people continue to show you who they are the first time, really believe that it will come in handy by the time we come back around to like Libra season. What's also important, of course, with the moon in Capricorn is that in its initial square to Mercury and Neptune in Aries, this challenges how authentic your speech and your words reflect your identity, while the moon is organizing this utilized understanding, or understanding the utilization of this reimagined original power we activated with the new moon in Aries. So this whole theme of Aries is like the awakening of your reimagined self, but we also activated original power that aligns with this, that you unlocked with the North Node in Aries last year. And now you're coming into a much more collective understanding that will help you understand how to use this moving forward, so that when we convert this into energy in a Taurus, we can strengthen and ground this power through our 5 natural senses. All right. Of course, the moon in Sagittarius gave you a bird's eye view of imagining and visualizing who you see yourself to be. And now the moon in Capricorn has you move forward and control and construct and organize those visions through the actions that you take. relative to that. Okay, so of course, with the moon that's going to be at the end of Capricorn, is going to trine Uranus and Taurus, which is going to revisit this natural innovation of your five senses. And of course, where you're directing that, how you're directing that, how that, of course, aligns with the sun that will be in Taurus by the time that occurs in preparation for that 1 degree square. And this is a really great period to just reflect. Reflect on the past 30 days. What have you really accomplished? Not in a success-driven space, but what have you really done to at least show yourself you've taken that first step? Because everything is going to really be built moving forward over the rest of the year from not just this first step, but this reimagining of who you are. It's very important you've embraced this reimagining, because this is going to transcend old or outdated labels and identification that does not reflect who it has been revealed through your actions and synchronicities that you are becoming and are. You don't have to wait to be this person. You want to make sure that everything you're doing is from this space. So as the moon in Capricorn organizes and structures, you're coming into this universal understanding of how to fine-tune your own individuality. This is going to make for amazing revelations, especially with the moon at the end of Capricorn, that will revisit everything we believed. Venus has gone over the North Node and it's going over Saturn, which is going to really tie in very important lifelong commitments in relationships with others. All right. And you have to thank your stars if maybe there's certain people you felt you were meant to be with and it just doesn't work all of a sudden. That is spirit protecting you. All right, maybe you had an idea, maybe you were led by synchronicities and you feel like you were meant to be with someone, now they're with someone else or they're moving with someone else. I see a surprise on that car. That's a good thing, because you don't want to initiate contracts romantically or platonically with people who are not meant to be in your life. And if you're fighting to make that happen, you could be foregoing the protection that is being given. Anything that you feel you have lost, you will gain back and more. So you have to be willing to surrender. And I'm not going to say go with the flow like a dead fish, but the moon sextiling this will organize a more practical nature of how to really, construct these unseen nature of your imagination, your beliefs. How can we order our beliefs that apply into who we are, who we believe we are, what we believe we want to do, knowing that. And yeah, that's basically it, y'all. It is going to quincunx Jupiter and Gemini to kind of just transform this evolution of your mindset now that Jupiter's getting ready to go into the third decan, coming into the end of next week. But yeah, outside of that, I hope you've enjoyed this Aries season. The 29-degree sun position here is going to provide you the last piece of the puzzle that will really just affirm more and confirm who you have always been and how you will begin to utilize this new reimagined power that has always been yours. And that is you. You stay blessed as always, and until next time.